Welcome back, blade fans. Thought what I do today at this Old Sword Blade Reviews is kind of a quick roundup survey of fixed blade knives made by Civivi. Civivi is not often a name that you associate with fixed blades so much as with so many folders. And right at the start, I will say, yes, I didn't miss the fact that that's a Sendcut, the Waxahachie. Made by We Knives, so is Civivi, all in one family, all budget knives, although Civivi's creeping up there a little bit. Anyway, there'll be links to each of these in the notes, in the description of this video. But let's get started. Here's one I haven't shown very often, except when it initially came out well over a year ago. So these aren't necessarily knives of the past year or even recently. This is the Kepler by Macy Torbe. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He kind of likes these knives that are wide and terminate in this kind of an arrow point, spear point. He's got another one coming out that's either one of his customs or also will be produced by Civivi. But it's a cool knife, very thin, very slender across the width of it there. The steel on it, if this is one that Civivi actually put the steel name on, I'm not sure. Oh my, say, they make you hunt for it. Maybe it isn't steel. 1 second, we're going to look her up. Okay, so on the Kepler we've got 9 CR18 MOV. And it's interesting that they didn't mark that anywhere on this knife, the Kepler. But as I was saying, or may not have said, Mr. Torbe likes to produce very slender knives with very wide blades and angular clip points. Kind of an interesting blend of everything. Not much of a belly there, more or less flat with a slight belly at the front. It looks like it would be heavy, but it is fairly light, and we're not going to weigh each one of these, but I did do a review on the Kepler way back when, and gave you all the important stats. Let me give you the overall at least. 10 inches overall with a 4.5 inch blade. So we may end up doing that anyway on these, is at least giving you the dimensions. But really very lively, not much in the hand there at all. Some good jimping up here, and I like where it's placed that I can lay my thumb flat. I like to do that rather than staying cramped back here. It's got a finger groove with then pretty much a flat, a flat, and a little bit of chamfering there, so we've got kind of a peak with two flats. We've got a tang of the blade that rides proud of the handles, in fact all the way around. And that's easier for the manufacturers to do and keep costs down, and I believe these are coming in around 70 now. Still available at most of the internet websites. But it keeps the cost down because they don't need to match up. They don't need to do a final machining or grinding of the handle material to the steel. And some people just like the look of it. And it does have a nice look, a nice satiny finish. One thing you'll notice over here is we've got a little bit of scarring from our good old Kydex sheaths. I don't know if you can even see that. Right about, yeah, you're not even going to see it, right in there. Minor, but if you like pristine knives, then what I do is take some compressed air and blow out the sheaths. It's usually little bits of debris that are the culprits. Let's next go to one of my all-time favorite fixed blade, production fixed blades, and particularly Civivi's, is the Bob Terzuola designed Tamashi. And it is a beautiful original Tanto style design. I know some of you are going to take exception and say it isn't a Tanto, but it is more in line with the traditional Japanese knife, not with the chisel pointed knife that we're used to calling Tantos since about 1982 or 3 when Lynn Thompson devised his cold steel Tanto. This is more of what the original handle and blade would look like. It's excellent in the hand. It's another slim knife. I don't know of too many of these Civivi fixed blades that are very broad across the handle. It's a completely encapsulated tang, and you can see a seam there, but it's very nicely done. And we've got a run of jimping right on the handle. Got another nice run of jimping up here. This knife is so darn nice that I've got 2 other copies with different colors, and one with a black blade and so on and so forth. And they just came out with this in the Desert Tan handle, and it looks really nice. And for well under $100, you can pick this guy up. Comes with a lanyard, as you can see on some of the other Civivis. I took it off. For me, it just kind of gets in the way. It dangles, and it's tangling up my hand when I don't want it to. Although I know that there is a purpose behind it for many of you who are big lanyard fans. I get that. Now this one is done in, I will tell you in a moment. Should have remembered, it's D2. D2. Yep. Good serviceable steel yet. And they've got it looking really nice there. You just might want to just oil it up a little bit if you're going to put it into regular use. It is not an entirely rustable steel. It's about 50-50. So if you want completely stainless, you're going to need to go with another knife, or maybe wait for the upgrade. I'd love to see them upgrade this all the way around with maybe some, I think they're already doing micarta, but with maybe S35VN, something like that would be really, really nice. But as it is, still a very nice knife. Let's go down to the one that isn't truly a Civivi. It's a Sendcut. Sendcut being the lowest rung on the WE ladder of production knives. One of my favorites just for the size and the convenience of it. And you can see how that lanyard kind of moves around. I mean, you can tuck it up like that. Some people like to bunch it up here, get near the end, and chop with the knife. But this is so small, I don't know that I'm going to do much chopping. And it's not a lanyard that'll fit around your wrist. It is some extra paracord that you can unravel in an outdoor situation where you might need to lash the knife on a pole and be a big spearfisher. You never know. Survival. It ain't always going to tell you what you need to survive. Big old holes lightening this thing up, and this one's got a very nice green micarta. Nice jimping there. Nice clip point, almost with a little hint of a Bowie upturn there, but with the point straight in line. It's a lightweight knife. It is, I think, well under 4 ounces. Reviews available on that one. I'm going to see if I can get all of the review links on my page to these knives so that if you want to know more, you can simply click on them. No fuss, no muss, right? This came out recently. This is the Midwatch. I'm still not sure whether I like this knife because it is so super thin and light. That makes it extremely slicey, by the way. Completely high flat grind right up to the spine. Clip point, a little bit of a Bowie look to it with a little bit of curve there. Very nice gradual belly. And a ring. So we can do it karambit style or just hang on tight. It's a little cramped this way. And this way you may not want to hold it with your pinky through it. Although I get the argument in that, you can, and I'm not even going to chance it here, is to hang it there while you do something else with your hand, but I just don't know. I mean, it seems like everybody's got to put rings on knives these days. I like them where they work. I don't like them just pasted onto everything. And we're probably going to try to figure out what the steel is on this one. We told them to stop billboarding. They did, and now we don't know what the steels are. So let me see if I can figure out this one for you. Look it up in the good old database. It's N690, N690 on the Midwatch. Beautiful black burlap micarta on that, by the way. Really decorative, and they kept it smooth. You don't get the fuzzies with that one. I think that goes over here. Last but not least, we have the most unusual Civivi of all. This is the Ortho, designed by Tony Setmanet. And he's a big time, I guess he's got a lot of social media presence as a trainer, as defensive tactics, as SWAT, and all that good kind of stuff. Big muscular guy, designed a little knife, but hey, you can carry it with you. Put it in your tactical vest. You can use it along with your firearms, etc., etc. There's almost no place on this that there isn't a sharp edge. You've got teeth, and they're very, very spiny, sharp teeth. You've got an edge there that on the draw will cut so easily. You've got a straight edge long and a straight edge short, and a scoop, a convex edge in there with a peak. I mean, so almost no matter which way this knife moves, it's going to cut. If you do this, you've got either an interesting push knife, not push knife as in push dagger, but more in the line of some of the knives they've been producing for law enforcement and defensive use now, where you don't need to know knife techniques very much. You just need to know how to sort of push straight with your hand like that. Or, of course, you can use it in karambit fashion if you are so aware and trained. The angle of the knife also helps it to get out of the way when it's in its sheath, so it's not poking you in the ribs, depending upon where and how you're holding it. And I've been told that this lock has been put up to the test and has survived a lot of torture testing. Haven't done it myself. Obviously the knife looks new. And all of these come with Kydex sheaths. I'm not going to show you each Kydex sheath, but again, I'm going to try to link my reviews on these. This was just an effort to kind of show you the alternative to the usual Civivi. And it's becoming more normal now, too, for Civivi to produce these knives. I have to give them credit for producing the Ortho. That is one crazy, whacked out, unusual knife, especially for a mainstream company like Civivi and we to turn out. But they took a chance. I'm not sure how well they're selling. You might be interested. You might not. At any rate, hope you enjoyed that overview of 5 Civivi fixed blades and a Sendcut. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. We'll be back soon.